let's clean out the freezer. You ready to join me? Could be quite an adventure. That's okay. All right, this is where we're going to spend some time today. Don't know how much of it we'll get through. I do have some other things coming up, but I want to at least make a start. That's one of the things I'm working on is in my mind, I have to have time to finish the whole project, because perfectionism and all that. But if you never start, you never finish the project, right? So I may even just do this shelf and share that, or I might, do each one on a different day and then compile it into a video. I don't know. Either way, I'm going to take you along. This is an area that I use every day, pretty much, sometimes multiple times a day. And it's one of the worst organized areas of my house. So that ends today. I am going to be working on this. I probably will kind of show some stuff, then switch angles and show it spread out, because usually what I do is I take a section and put it out, organize, put it back, things like that. But I'm not sure if I want to do that this time or if I want to take everything out and kind of rethink how it is, which is going to drive my husband nuts because he hates when I move things, which I do. I move things a lot because I am always trying to get like the optimal kind of workflow. So I'll show maybe a close-up of what's in here, and I'll show as I take it out and as I organize, but this is what we're working on today, so wish me luck. All right, we're gonna go in a little closer. Hopefully of course, right as I say, hopefully I'm not too wobbly, I kick the stand. Okay, so right now, top shelf was supposed to be kind of like fruit and sweet things. Then this was supposed to be like, I freeze my garlic and cheeses and some of that stuff that I use regularly. Then I've got, this is like baking supplies down here. Oh, this is not working. And then on the very bottom was when the kids were home, their quick kind of grab and go stuff. It's kind of turned into my lunches and things. And then in the door, I put my herbs, I cut them up and put them in jars. Usually I have a few that aren't in jars. So that's kind of what we're working with here. And I think I'll probably start with this. The only problem is if I do just one thing at a time, I think it could get frustrating because I know for a fact I've stuffed things other places that really should go on a different shelf. So I may have to pull everything out, but obviously when you're doing it with the freezer, that's always like a time sensitive thing. So I'm going to close this for now and reset. All right, so I got most things out. I did leave that very bottom shelf, which is kind of like my lunches and random things, and the herbs, because they're pretty much going to stay there, I think. The bottom shelf is a pain. I do not love the design of that. I think it's a complete waste of space and annoying. So I don't really like to put a lot of stuff down there. I'm not going to really bother with it. But I'm going to organize these, and then maybe at a later date, I'll revisit the other things. But I'm going to try and organize these and explain what I'm doing. And I'll have to switch angles just so that I'm not, having my back there. Let me come over here. Let's see. There are a lot of random things I noticed as I'm pulling. So some things I'll throw out. I have a bad tendency to try to hang on to like, not leftovers, but like a random ingredient that I didn't use quite enough and there's a little bit left, and or a sauce. I'll save some of the sauce. I need to stop doing that. I need to just plan better so that we're using what I have, because that's what a lot of this is stuff that I'm probably never going to use, and I'm tired of taking up space with stuff like that. So I'm going to work on this. I'll try to explain if there's anything important, but I'll probably time lapse for the most part and only stop if I have something to mention, because a lot of it's just personal preference, right? The way I organize my freezer may not work for you. So I'll only stop if I feel like it's more of like a broad topic that might help. So I have a few miscellaneous things. These are just things for my meals or snacks, so I'm just leaving them out. Then I have this container, which is mostly fruit for like smoothies and things like that, which I think works well. Then I have a baking. These actually are all ready to go. They're not ingredients, but that works because that's the kind of thing I would grab from the freezer, when I'm in a little more of a hurry. Then this is some cooking ingredients. I kind of tried to group, so a little bit of like Mexican, Italian, and then these are more of my like Asian sauces, flavors, and ingredients. So I'm gonna try that for a while, and I'll swing it around and show what I threw some stuff away that was past expiration, but I also held some stuff to put in my bigger freezer because it's not something I'm going to use. And then I also set aside some things that I need to use up soon. So I'm going to swing this around and show that. So here are these, actually, let me just scooch those. These are the ingredients that I need to use soon, which actually works because I have a recipe for a treat that takes coconut and graham crackers and butter. And then this Dutch crumb is for a pie. So I may, like I've done in the past, make a pie and either not bake it or bake it most, done, but not like crispy. And then save it for like a future date when I pull it out and actually bake it. Then I had a lot of cheeses. So I kept back the Parmesan mozzarella, which I use a pretty good amount. I don't need this in here. I have a bunch in the fridge. I'm going to put all these out in my other freezer because there's no point in having so much. And then I divided up over Christmas. We had yakisoba. So I have the sauces, but I'm not going to make that for a while and it takes up too much space in here. So those things are going to go. And then I threw out the things that had expired. And that's where I am right now. I'll put this up so you can see me put the things back in. And then these things I'm just going to toss in the freezer for another day. I know, just moving one problem to the next area. I'm putting my snack items up here, but I'm going to put these down on the bottom because that's where more of my meal stuff is now. So I'm going to put those down there. And actually, I probably could put my snack stuff down there because I noticed I have some ice cream. So I'm actually going to stuff these down there too. And I don't know if you can see in the video, but another reason I'm doing this is when it's overcrowded, either the door doesn't shut, which I probably do need to work on that bottom shelf now that I'm noticing. Either the door doesn't shut tight or maybe just the airflow doesn't work great and things get a little frosty, and I want to prevent that. So that's another reason why I'm doing this today. Now I've forgotten what I wanted to do. Hang on. Okay, we'll see. Oh, I'm just noticing now there is something on the bottom that doesn't even belong here. All right, so I think that works pretty well. This is a little empty and this is a little full, so I'm not sure. But I also have to make sure the door can shut. I'm going to test that. Sometimes it'll seem like it's shut and it's not all the way shut. That seems to shut well. I think I'm going to move this forward just so I can see it. I'm not sure what I'll put back there. I do feel like maybe I'll do some more rearranging. But for now, that's pretty good progress. At least I can see what's in here and use up some ingredients. And maybe what I'll do is have an empty bin that whenever I go to the garage to my bigger freezer, if I see something that I know I need to use, maybe I'll bring it up and put it in kind of like a extra bin here to remind me like, hey, you need to use this. Because I'm definitely like, if I see it, I'll remember. So I might do that, I think, a different day. But I think for now, this is pretty good progress. I can see pretty much everything that's in here. Just by going through it, I also remembered things that were in here to remind myself to use them. So that's what I'm going to be doing, I think. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I have those baking ingredients I had talked about needing to use. I think I am going to just put them at the front here to kind of remind myself, hey, use these before, you get to some of that stuff at the back. So I think I'll do that and then I'll wrap up. And the apron is handy for keeping my, clothes clean, but also handy for carrying things. If you don't have an apron, get an apron. And don't get one of the ones that's just a skirt because, well, I don't really know what the point of those is because I literally am always getting stuff up here and rarely down there. So I like the full apron myself. So yeah, just little public service announcement. If you don't have an apron, get an apron. Okay, so we did it. We didn't do every little bit, But there's a show that my husband and I love to watch called Midlife Stockman, and he's always saying not perfect but better. And I definitely feel like that describes that little bit. And I really do want to be motivated to do more of that. Just small projects or small chunks of a project and just making them better, because perfect isn't a reality anyway. It's not real life, but you can get better and then you can get a little better. So that's what I'm going to work on in a lot of aspects, which I hope you'll join me for. Um, if you enjoy going on these kind of random real life adventures with me, if you enjoy, household organizing, cleaning, cooking, um, just all the things, please let me know. Put in the comments what you'd like to see, uh, tips for me or other viewers. All that kind of stuff helps me to figure out what to show and to create, I guess. um, so yeah, thanks for joining me. It also helps me a lot of times to just get started. I was really tired this morning. Don't know why. I've been really struggling with fatigue this week. I had some health problems in the last year and a half. Thought I was kind of making progress with that, but man, I don't know. This week has been rough. I cannot keep my eyes open. I'm just, ugh. And I did not want to do anything today. I didn't want to film anything. I didn't want to work on anything. I was just going to kind of putter on easy things around the house. But I thought, you know what? I haven't done it in a while. And if I'm filming, it kind of like adds an extra layer of motivation, because I feel like I'm doing it not just for me, but for you guys. Um, to help you also, if you're having a day where you're just like, I do not want to do anything at all, you can do one small thing. That didn't take all that long. I meant to time it. I think it was around 20 minutes or so. And now when I go to use my freezer, it's going to be one less stress in my day. I'll know where things are. I won't waste as much food. So there's lots of benefits to that. So I'll keep doing some of these smaller projects and smaller kind of sore spots and working on them, and you can join me. Uh, Thanks so much for your support and for, watching my random day. Bye, guys. Till next time, till the next adventure. That's real life.